Welcome back to WeakT Gaming. What's up, YouTube? Today's video is taken from our Torment Tides of Numenera live streams. If you're not familiar, Torment is an isometric RPG that includes a lot of reading, so please sit back, enjoy story time, and give us a like or a comment on the video at the end.
We shall see.
Laser. Who are you? This thin, fidgeting Aeon priest shoots furtive, sidelong glances at the creature in the nearby cage, while humming a nonchalant tune. When he sees that you're watching him, he flinches. Over the course of a few frantic breaths, shock becomes embarrassed anger, and he opens his mouth to shout at you. There must be a way, but how? They never leave it alone. Yes? What is it? What is so goddamn fascinating about me that you feel the need to stare? You seem nervous. I'm not, Bellyazer says, his eyes stealing to the caged creature again. Just don't like it when people sneak up on me. What do you know about the creature? What? Bellyazer says, jumping. Then he takes a breath that struggles to sound offhand. It's a Nycthemeron, a biomechanical creature. An information gatherer, in fact. He seems to calm down as he warms to the topic. They're dangerous, though. You can only speak to them at night. During daylight, they'll attack without provocation. A living repository of knowledge, Callie murmurs, watching the creature. I wonder what places it has seen, what it knows. Eliazer's eyes narrow suspiciously. You're planning something, aren't you? Eliazer weighs the intent of your words with narrowed eyes. Are you with the Order of Truth or just snooping? Yeah, Min asked me to check on you. Really? You can see doubt on his face, but it quickly gives way to relief. I knew Min would send someone to help. I'm working on something dangerous and important. Bellyazer glances around the plaza as if looking for spies, then beckons you to him. I have a device, he says in a hoarse whisper, that can probably be heard from meters away. If someone can get close enough to affix it to the creature's cage, it will activate and teleport the Nycthemeron to the Reef of Fallen Worlds. He snickers, rubs his hands together. And then, it's an insane plan, yet how else can I make a name for myself? Greatness demands it. You'll set it free? What? Of course not, his lips curls. Why would I go through all this trouble to help the creature? Biomechanical organisms fascinate me, and Nycthemerons, doubly so. I've never gotten to examine one up close, so, he lowers his voice. I want you to teleport the creature out of its cage, kill it, and bring me your memory organ. But to kill it for its brain? Please, Bellyazer says, rolling his eyes so hard you're surprised that you can't hear them squeaking in their sockets. It's a machine. It's not alive. If it makes you feel better, tell yourself you're deactivating a faulty device. That, will defend itself with lethal force. That sounds too easy. If it were that easy, I would do it, Bellyazer says. But the creature's captors protect its cage, and... well, they've already caught me once, but they won't be watching for you. Bellyazer rubs the back of his hand across his mouth. Tell them you wish to see the beast, and plant the device when they're not watching. And if you get caught, don't tell them I sent you. He lowers his voice to a horrified whisper. They said they'd lodge a complaint with the Order. There's also the part about killing it, but he doesn't need to think about that yet. How does the device work? I'm not sure, Bellyazer admits, mouth twisting. My former colleague found it within the rusted casing of a war machine. I say former because when he activated it, he disappeared. We found his remains are spread across the reef, as if he was hurled at the ground with great force. He looks briefly nauseous at the memory. Now, you might be thinking the Nycthemeron will perish in the same manner, and it might, but I wouldn't count on it. The creature can float. Poor Karth. Most of those test subjects didn't fare so well either. Alright, give me the device. I'll see what I can do. Here it is, he says, handing it over and nervously licking his lips. Be very, very careful. I don't have another one. Alright, okay, alright. Oh, Tiber wants to talk. He's mad at me. Merchant is repairing a broken weapon as you enter. Welcome back. How can I help you? Tell me what you have for sale. Oh, man. Concussive truncheon. Seems cool. Have I tried to... Hold on. I don't remember if I've tried... He should be able to use a medium weapon. He has trash might though, right? Yeah, no, this is actually a better... This is a better weapon. You know what? I'm gonna take this for now, though. Just in case he tries to leave me. Oh, I've seen some cold transactions in my time, but I've never seen someone sell a frightened little girl to a slaver. That's cold, friend. Can't imagine what you were thinking. Worse than me. No, he's every bit as bad as me, and that's worse. His tone is cheerful, but his body tells a different story about his state of mind. His hands fret with his belt. His fingers shake. Not happy about it, but do you think Rin is better off by herself? Of course not, he says quickly. The city's no place for a lass on her own. But we should have seen to her. Her too. He shakes his head, then chuckles at himself. Listen to me. Thinking I know what's best for anyone. He raises his face to the sky, closing his eyes. You're right. She's better off with your cast-off friend. Better off with nearly anyone else. Could have done right by her. I probably wouldn't have, but I thought the... Ooh, Tiber's sad. Tiber doesn't like me right now. Tiber's a sad boy. Doesn't like me. But he's still here, so he can have the healing sword. Anyway, I was saying, show me what you have for sale. So, I don't think I'm gonna end up using this. We can sell that. Don't particularly feel like I need another gun right now. So that. Broadsword can be sold. I feel like I should maybe hold on to that. Rapier we can sell. This armor we can sell. Got anything else hanging out? Oh yeah, this gun can go. Percussive truncheon is interesting. I'll think about that.
I'm going.
Yeah. Alright. Did the sleepy. You open your eyes to see the hooded face of Folsom Messengers. Her eyes are bleary and slightly dazed. It seems possible that she hasn't slept since she last saw her. No, are more people dead? Another murder in the underbelly. Browse while you were sleeping. She runs her fingers through. It was an itinerant jack named Manthpot. No! What? Dude, I have to quit sleeping. Man, Pa's dead? Man, I was thinking about trying to get him to travel with us. Where's Eratus at? Eratus seems like a good choice.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
Allow me.
Oh no, hold on.
Of course.
Hey, you said you're looking for a great adventure. Yes. I feel I speak plainly, he says, plucking at his beard. Too many people have mistaken me for a common mercenary. Straightens. I am not interested in entangling myself in local quarrels. I will not hunt a beast that cannot hunt me in return, and if I am to fight, it must be against a foe of such wickedness that the stars themselves would wink out rather than shine upon a world that harbors such malevolent creatures. Murderer is loose in the underbelly. I need help finding clues. That fiend, he declares, beard trembling with outrage. But alas, I cannot help you. Knight must know his weaknesses as well as his strengths, and her investigation has never been my strong suit. Claps you on the shoulders. Good hunting, my friend. Good hunting. Wow. Can't think of any enemies worthy. Oh, he says his face falling. Perhaps you will think of one later. Oh boy, this is just... I'm fully disappointed with my experience so far.
Why not? I'm ready.
Yes, child.
I don't remember if this guy will travel with us. Nope.
Of course.
Go.
Emeritus! Can you fight well in a group? You have a group? Looks past you to your companion. Where are they? Always there? Yes, darling, Callie says dryly. But don't take it too hard. My sisters and I do tend to blend into the background. Oh, hello, he says, waving at her. And to you. And you. It's been several happy moments waving at every variation of Callie that flits through your reality. I changed my mind. I want you to join me. Of course you do. And I'm ready. I'm always ready. Excellent. Glad you're here, buddy. What are you rocking? Great sword. This dude uses might? Bruh. And he only has 5 might? This guy's trash. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes, child.
Wait. Where's my...
Yes, child.
What happened to Tiber? Did we lose Tiber somewhere? There we go. Now we're all here.
Fair enough.
Alright, so we need to talk to Mapper.
Emeritus, stop fidgeting. Be still and silent. All 3.
I don't understand how all you Calistesias could even notice in that crowd of
Calistesias.
you.
Huh. Have you found it yet? Do you see with new eyes? I've discovered the location of the Chain of God's sanctuary. He leans forward. Blue eye begins to gleam more brightly. Tell me about it, he whispers. As you speak, Mapper stares at the exposed patch of flesh on his arm. New lines etch into his skin, unfurling themselves across the space. He smiles tightly and shifts in his seat. Yes, he mutters. Yes. He points to one line. Here, in the void beneath the city. What's this in the mural? He looks more closely at his arms and recoils. Ah, gods, it's terrifying, even from here. Rubs at his skin as if trying to rid himself of the mural's image. His blue eye looks anywhere but at himself. He shivers, bone deep. I don't envy you seeing that thing, friend. No, not at all. He slaps his face a bit, bringing some flush to his cheeks, and smiles again. Anyway, I owe you a map, don't I? He takes a big breath and says, the White Death is hiding in a place called the Cave of Last Words. It's an old thieves' bolt hole. They say Chyla herself used it, but they don't say where it is. He smiles. Persistence pays, though. That's always been my watchword. There's one way to get to it through the caravanserai, but it's sealed tight, and I never found a way in. But you can get there from the underground. The Stick and Know. They dug there, and they can dig there again. Yeah, okay. Very sad. Man's paw is dead. I loved him. He was my baby boy. Flayed, severed fist lies knuckles down in the vast pool of blood, aligned with the center of the red, dripping circle painted on the wall. The long-fingered fist in the center of the pool was in poor shape before someone ripped off all the skin. Lumps of crooked bone imply that the former owner broke his hand more than once. Ah, poor man. He was always up for anything, but just never had that hairs on the back of your neck sense that you need on the street. Not a born reader of signs, if you get me. You can bet I wouldn't have been caught unawares by whatever it was that done for him. At least I hope not. Sorry for your loss. I didn't know the boy that well, he says, shrugging, but thanks all the same. Wish I knew his people, I'd let him know. Turn your attention back to the murder scene. Examine the bloody circle on the wall. You recognize the shape slashed on the wall. It is both a trans-dimensional doorway and the symbol of the Children of the Endless Gate, breakaway sect of the Dindra or her. Oh, hey, we actually have learned something. This leads to an inescapable conclusion. One of the Dendro her may be the killer, or at least know who the killer is. Before you can look away from the circle, memory bulges painfully through your thoughts. The memory isn't yours. Yeah, okay, we'll take it. Rush blood streams over the circle, yanking you through the hollow at its center into the world beyond. A strip of blistered land coils through a void as black as a gaping mouth. The air is thick, foul, and textured with the slickness of maggots. Nausea slams into you, filling your head, infecting your thoughts, and through it all, you sense a mind in that fathomless darkness, spilling towards yours, seeking, tasting, joyful, hungry. Shove the horrific memory away from you, slamming your mind shut like a door, and swallowing the knot of nausea in your throat. Just seeing that world, the bloody pool at your feet, seems almost mundane. Alright, so we want to go question the Dendro her real fast. And then we get the sticker take us to the place where the white boys dance.
Ready.
I am Bittu. Ah, welcome back. I see you are still on your feet. You notice he seems disappointed about this, despite his feverish cheer. I got some questions for you, bud. Oh dear, he says. I was hoping it was all over by now. Tell me about the children of the Endless Gate. A smile falls from Mbitu's face. I hope you are not asking for the reason I think you are, he says. They began as a branch of the Dendro her, but was more impatient in their appetites. His lip twitches like the memory of a snarl. Years ago, my sisters and brothers and I chased them from the city and erased their names from every record, or thought we had. Perhaps, he says, turning troubled eyes on his acolytes. No, this is the first time I've spoken of the Endless Gate in years. They cannot possibly be involved. Takes a deep breath and smiles at you again. It's like watching a wrinkled sun emerging from the clouds. Their twisted beliefs have somehow infected one of them? Possible. Can I speak with your acolytes? Oh my, he says, I suppose you have my permission. Do be gentle with them. Flashes his teeth at you. If they deserve it, of course. Think any of them could be capable of murder? Certainly not, he declares, then pauses. Well, they do come and go as they please, hunting for bodies left in the gutters like broken leaves. He smiles mistily up at the air, as though reminded of his younger years. The devourer of wrongs was standing vigil these last few days, but any of the others could be responsible, I suppose. He runs his eyes across them, humming a fretful little memory. Oh dear, he says, they really are a suspicious lot, aren't they? Mallet enjoys hurting people. Kayatawa tells her little lies, and Gaze, well, she's quite unique. He seems as pleased at this as though he accomplished her uniqueness himself. All in all, they're a horrifying bunch, aren't they? I really hadn't noticed before. Hey, Mallet. What do you want, shul meat? He says, leering. I was given permission to ask you about the murders. Is that right? He says, glancing at Mbitu. The leader of the Dendro herd gives him a small nod. Yeah, all right, he says. Ask your questions for all the good it will do you. Did you know Weedle? He says. Yeah, I knew him. Glad to hear he's dead. He chuckles. He was smart and knew it. Always looking down on the rest of us. Always ordering people around with Folsom looking on, smiling. He snorts. But if you're thinking I chopped him, I didn't. I was getting drunk in a corner of the manufactory. He grins nastily. Wondering what all the screaming was about. Damn empty lack nipper. I should have been Folsom's man, not him.
Making a note.
You know who should ask? You should ask, he says, leaning in. Kayatawa. I saw her hunched over some corpse in an alley, all by herself. Doesn't matter what the meat is. People who eat on their own always got something to hide. He nods at the other cultists. And Gaze's one to watch too. She ain't like you or me. She's a mutant, and not one of the nicer ones. Everyone eats on their own. Everyone's got something to hide. I want to talk about your eating habits. Is that right? He says, scratching one of his sharpened teeth. Not much of a mystery there. I eat people. I like it. He shrugs. That doesn't answer your question. Go on and ask. Does eating human flesh bother you? Bother? No, bother ain't the right word. He rubs on the back of his neck. Think you're gonna mind the taste, but you don't. The part I don't like is that memories from the person you eat end up in your head, and you can't make them shut up. 4 of us ate this Skallark, not a fancy one, but one with old robes. Kayatawa was talking about some words she kept hearing after. He scowls. I didn't get a word. I saw a memory of his when I was picking him out of my teeth. He was lying in bed, dying maybe, waiting for his son to come see him. His eyes kept closing, and the sun never came. Shakes his head like a beast trying to dislodge a biting insect. Not that I saw, anyway, and that's from just one meal. They get in my head, make me forget who's me, and Butu says it gets easier, but... why do you do it if you don't like it? It doesn't trouble me, he growls, but his voice is shaking. Just ain't easy. But it'll get better. Look at Mbitu. He's been doing this a long time. You glance at Mbitu. The elderly head of the Dendro her waves and gives you a huge rotten grin. Have you ever heard of something called the Endless Gate? No, he says. Strange name, though. If it don't end, it ain't much of a gate, is it? It's more of a hallway. Hilarious. Alright, catch you later, bro. She doesn't spare words on you this time. She merely nods, her weird gaze cataloging the position of everyone in the room. What's bothering you? Nothing. No offense, but I don't know you at all. Leave me alone, alright? Yeah, she says, looking over at the old man. He nods. Good. Have to say, I'm not surprised the murderer's trail led you here. What do you want to know? Mallet says he caught you eating a corpse on you? Yeah, maybe Mallet should mind his business, she says, shooting an angry look at the hulking cultist. Sure, it's true. I don't like being down here more than I have to, alright? I barely even sleep anymore. Keep getting the feeling that they're waiting for me to die. Wondering what I'd taste like.
I'll remember that.
Not too long ago, I found a corpse in an alley near Circus Minor, and I didn't see why I should share it with this lot. She drags her fingers through her hair. That's it. No secret, no scandal, and since Mallet thinks he can share my hunting with strangers, maybe you should ask him how many corpses he's found on his own, or if they were actually dead when he found them. Mallet's killed and eaten. I'm sure of it. Probably they all do. Have any idea who the murderer is? No, she says, resting her hands on her hips. I've seen what they left behind of Folsom's boy. A mess. Blood on the walls and floor. No body. She flicks a strand of hair out of her eyes. That's the kind of death you see when someone is sending a warning, or holding a grudge. Saw it all the time before I came here. Circle's not a warning. It's a sign. Why do you think someone killed Folsom's protege? Why? She says with something approaching a grin. Why? This is someone Folsom cared about. He has a lot of enemies. Well, why do you think? Know anything about the Endless Gate? No, she says. Never heard of them. You sure you've never heard of the Children of the Endless Gate? She shakes her head, looking confused. What are your opinions of the other Dendroher? Ha, she says. Alright, don't expect me to hold back. What are your opinions of Mbitu? He's lived too long, she says. Maybe the Dendroher were something once, but he's just looking for his next meal now. The rest of them are following his example. How do you feel about Mallet? He likes hurting people. More than that, he's proud of it. She runs an angry hand through her hair and lowers her voice. Not sure, but I think he's been killing rivals from his old life and eating them. I know he killed. He probably ate too. Why wouldn't he? What do you think of Gazing? She used to be worse than she is. If you haven't talked to her yet, you'll see what I mean. She glances at the mutant uneasy. Maybe all those corpses she's eating on her own are bringing Sagus into her head, civilizing her. Maybe. She shakes her head. But that just means she's a predator who knows the mind of her prey. She's a monster. Certainly she's murdered he. Why wouldn't she? Other questions? Done asking about the murderer. Good. Alright, catch you later. Now, I just want to clarify something. Tell me what you think of everybody down here. Family, he repeats. Good one. I trust my brother over this bunch, and he tried to cut my throat when I was 5. He collects his stuff. Go on and ask your questions. What do you think of him, bitch? He's alright. Got half the city scared of him and the other half bringing him meat. Not bad for an old man who smiles at everyone and never raises his voice. Hope to be half that feared when I'm done. More than half. What do you think of the monster? Because he's a monster, he says, shaking his head. Less than human and more than a beast. I've seen her take a corpse's face off with a swipe of those claws and tuck it into her mouth like pan bread. Didn't stop until the body was gone. Down to the last drop of blood. Bites his upper lip, drawing ribbons of blood. Talk to Kazay if you want. Figure her out. Me, I keep my distance. You think of Kiyatawa? Opens his mouth to respond, closes it thinking. Something's wrong with her, he says finally. And I ain't stupid. I know how that sounds coming from me. Just something's broken in her, and it's always getting worse. Alright. Welcome you back, Tinderling, she croons, as if singing to a tasty child. Need to ask you about murders. Her eyes, small eyes glow with humor, but flicker first to the leader of the Dendro her. He nods. Ask your questions, Tinderling, she says, stroking the back of her hand with her claws. Even this gentle motion draws blood. Murder. How can it be murder with no body? What do you know about the murders? Oh, Tinderling, she chuckles, delighted. Use the wrong word over and over. There is no murder if there is no body. This was... She uses a word you do not recognize, a gruesome combination of clicking teeth and growling consonants. So nothing was lost.
Making a note.
We do not know who is responsible, she says, scratching her cheek. Blood spills unheeded from the wound. Kiyatawa and Mallet sneak about during the night. They swallow their secrets. They are Dendro herd to serve their power and hunger, not to honor the dead, not for... She uses the word again, snapping her jagged teeth with great satisfaction. They're not capable of such kindness. Why is he so interested in the soul that was not lost? Very strange. What is that word you keep using? Word, she says, blinking. Oh, yes, your language does not have the word, so we use our own. She clicks her teeth together thoughtfully, then answers. We know of murder, of course. To leave a body to rot is to say that the soul inside is not worth keeping. This we punish. This decision is not for anyone to make. The word we speak of is the opposite. On my world, when one of us dies or is killed, we eat their flesh and take their souls into our body. We feel the light of them reach our corners. She raises a claw, smiling. They becomes we. You understand? You only think it's murder if the murderer doesn't eat the entire body. Yes, she says, clapping her hands together with delight. You understand. This murder is no murder, she pronounces the word with obvious scorn. We know the details. A skinned hand in blood circles on the wall, she says, making a tisking noise. Tinderlings play with their food. Perhaps your murderer is young. They do not know they should finish the hands, strip the memories of hard work from the tendons, crunch the bones, slurp the blood from the floor. She shakes her head fondly. Tinderlings. Perhaps this Tinderling thinks what I do is murder. He is wrong. You don't think Kiyatawa or Mallet killed any of the victims? We never said that, she said, playfully biting her tongue. They kill, but they do not honor. They do not understand who they are. What do you know about the endless gate? We know it, she says, frowning, but we are not sure how. She drums her claws against her chin, drawing pinpricks of blood. Yes, bloody circles left on the sides of junkyard dwellings outside the bloom. In shadows. Beware the endless gates, little woman. The people of that community say, it still makes us laugh. Such sweetness. Alright, catch you later. No, he doesn't have any information. Towering figure appears to be staring into a pocket of shadow in the corner of the chapel. Does not acknowledge your arrival. Hey! Good, it rumbles at once, as though it had been waiting for the news. I would have the murderer caught and cut quickly. It angers me that all of this transpired while I was attending to risks. Despite the statement, the creature's voice is placid as a subterranean pond. I assume you are here because one of the Dendro her is suspected of being the murderer. I will tell you what I know. I've known Ibitu through many minds. He is subtle, clever, and untrustworthy. He is also no murderer. Casually clenches a gloved fist. That leaves the other 3. They are all capable of the crime. Mallet is ambitious and desires revenge. Kiyatawa sneaks, plots, and keeps secrets. Zay is not human and does not define murder as we do. The creature's fist falls to its side once more. Talk to them, search for holes in their stories. These will lead you to the truth. Which one do you think is responsible? Mallet, Gazay, and Kiyatawa could be the murderer. Question them and look for falsehoods. These will lead you to the truth. Alright, well, you're useless.
Fine.
Well met yourself.
With alacrity.
Folsom. His hands are shaking fists at his side, as if he wants to strike someone but has no target. Another murder has occurred. He says, Manth Pa was a wandering jack and of occasional use to me. Now he is dead. He bears a crescent of gritted teeth at you. Work harder, godling. My people are dying. I've discovered that the children of the Endless Gate may be involved. Interesting. Mbitu told me the group had been crushed long ago. I would count it a favor if you continued your investigation. Speak with Mbitu and his acolytes. Tell me if you believe one of them is responsible. Mbitu called the sect an infection once. Perhaps they have relapsed. No. Circles in red. Question the cultist. I have no reason to believe that the murderer was a member of the Dendro Horde cultist. Go to the cult chapel and the underbelly and question the people I find. Any one of them could be the killer. Bitu has given me permission. I have questioned Mallet. He claims that he was getting drunk in a corner of the manufactory when Weedle was killed. However, he did admit that he knew Weedle. Sounds as if the pair didn't like each other much. Mallet also warned me not to trust Kiyatawa and Gazay. He apparently said Kiyatawa cars all by herself, which suggests to him that she has something to hide. He describes Gazay as a particularly nasty sort of mutant. While hiding something, Kiyatawa admitted to finding a corpse in the city. She didn't want to share with the other Dendra, so she ate it alone. Then she suggested that I ask Mallet how many corpses he has found on his own, and she implied he might have killed some of them himself. Kiyatawa seemed like she was hiding something else about her visit to Circus Minor. I should speak to the merchants there and see if any of them saw what she was doing. I've questioned Kiyatawa. She claims that she doesn't know who the killer is, but she's seen this kind of murder before. It suggests the killer was sending a warning or holding a grudge. Question Gazay's cannibal mutant with claws and sharp teeth. She doesn't seem to recognize that a murder took place because no corpse was left behind. However, she cautioned me not to trust Kiyatawa and Mallet, both of whom have been sneaking around at night, keeping secrets from the other cultists.
Hello, Calistesians!
Don't shout. When you do, we can all hear you. It makes you even more irritating than normal.
I understand, Calistesians!
I'm about to figure this out.
I am the very soul of action.
Now, I just had one other question. Kiyatawa says you've been killing people instead of waiting for them to die. People! She said that. He shoots a dark look at Kiyatawa. Yeah, right, but not people, he says, stretching his thick neck. It was just the one. Someone, yeah. I ain't gonna give you a name. You stole something from me once, and the fact that you ain't here asking about him means no one misses him. I'm like a man with a lot of grudges. Sure you didn't decide to settle some with Folsom. You must think I'm an idiot, he says. Sometimes grudges pay off, right? Make you feel good right in your gut. He slaps his belly. But no one ever gets the better of Folsom. Even if I killed every one of his proteges, and I'm not saying I killed even one, Man would have me skinned and hung before I dropped my club. Settle grudges? Sure. Settle grudges was fulsome? No, never. You sure you haven't killed anyone else? Yeah, I'm sure, he says. His usual smile, however, is missing. Why do you courses if it troubles you so much? Doesn't trouble me. To ask you something else. Talking about eating habits. I thought there was how many corpses? All right.
Why not?
Okay. How do I? Hello. I just want to.
Why, of course. Here comes the boredom slayer.
Of course.
What's this guy doing? Sun is nourishing today. Sure. Sure. Rada! Oh, hello. Here to shop or just to chat? She gasps. Or both? Have you seen a Dinjo her market woman? She says, her mandibles click. No, near the market, yes. I was closing up shop and only noticed her because she was staggering a little and talking to herself. Do you remember what the Dinjo her woman was saying? Something about circles, Prada says, clicking her mandibles. Click, click, that's it. She says she kept talking about a hollow circle, a red hollow circle. She giggles. I don't know. I didn't know the Dinjo her got drunk. Okay.
Yes.
Otero? What's Otero? So, what's this? Who are you? Wind spins off the distant sea, sweeping between you and the boy, whistling up toward the peaks of Sega's cliffs. He glances at you, then at the crowds in the plaza beyond. He appears to be looking for someone. Would she have come to the city? Doesn't seem like her kind of play, but... Saw you wandering down in the reef, he says. Did you get to that star before the others did? Looks back at your face and grins. Guess not. That ain't the face of... that's found good pick. There was nothing to find down there. I was the falling star. Ha, sure you were, he says, smirking. Sell that skiss to someone else. Despite his words, his eyes settle on yours, studying, deciding. His mouth settles into an irritated line. Look, he says, running a hand over his stubbled scalp. You hide it well, but I can tell you're new here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving folk new to Segas on their own. If you have questions about the city or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer them free of charge. Of course. Looks like you already have a guide, he says, nodding to Callie. Callie? Why is this freshie traveling with her? She scares the tolk out of me. Hello, dear, Callie says politely before turning to you. Otero knows this city better than almost anyone, and it's quite unlike him to give anything away for free, let alone his terribly valuable advice. Do take him up on his offer. Nice of you to say, Otero says, eyeing you. Well? Looking for Matt Kina. Heard of, he stammers. Everyone's heard of the White Death. Deadliest assassin in Sega's Cliffs. I don't know where she is, and I hope it stays that way. Anyone around here know how to fix complex machinery? He says, scanning the plaza. Prada, that's the bug lady in the market, is pretty good with machines. You might ask her for advice. Rubs the back of his neck. Otherwise, you'll want to visit the foreman in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it, if they can stop fighting long enough. What are you doing here? Just got back from a scrounge, he says. I'm here trading salvo for supplies before I set out again. Enjoying the sights, you know? His eyes sweep the crowds again. Where would she have gone if she came here, and why? Perception. You can't help notice that he doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. He looks downright unhappy. Guilty even. What are you looking for? He flinches, then glares at you. At first, it seems like he's not going to answer. Girl I met a while back, he says at last, looking away. She was new in town, like you. I'm just wondering what happened to her, if she's okay. He swallows. Anyway, you have any other questions? Didn't look like she broke camp, more like she left in a hurry. Ask about something else. Do you live here? Not really, he says. Walls are nice, but they keep you in one place. I like to move around and explore. Don't like being here much at all, really. City folks are scarier than scroungers. Alright, well, never mind. This guy's relatively worthless.
All right.
Relatively worthless. Seer doesn't want to talk to me. Felinda. Felinda welcomed the customer back, Felinda says. Nope. Felinda is worthless. Argento. Welcome back. Here to talk or just listen? Argento takes the device Billy User gave you and examines it grimly. The young idiot. We caught him fiddling with the cage before, and I thought I'd scared him off. Apparently not. His eyes and pockets the device. I understand him better than I'd like. We build our lives on the kindling of our ambitions and hope for a bonfire before someone blows it out. Argento shakes his head. I made a study of the Nick Themeron during the journey here. If that little fool had only asked, I might have shared my findings with him. Still can. Let him learn from your experiences. Hardly seems fair, he says, considering your words, but you're right. I'm not a young man, and it'd be good to know I helped someone along the path before I... He stops himself and continues. Before I left town. Reaches into his bags and hands you a bundle of well-worn notes. Then he glances over your shoulder. Trouble coming, friend. Belazer is stomping towards you, and he looks furious. I trusted you, he shouts. Frustrated tears shimmer at the corners of his eyes, refusing to fall. Argento steps back to a discreet distance, an expression of sadness crossing his face. You think you've won, he hisses. One tear escapes and streaks down his bony cheek. You think this is the first time I've ever been betrayed? Panting with rage, he jams a finger in your face. I'm going to tell the Order of Truth that you've betrayed an Aeon priest on a secret mission. Everyone is going to know you can't be trusted. It was my one opportunity. How can I rise beyond the acolyte now? Hey, buddy. You hold the notes, and Bellyazer snatches them from your hands. As his eyes widen, you explain how you got them. This is more than I expected to learn on my own, Bellyazer whispers, flushing. All that time spent on subterfuge, and I could have just asked. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Shouts at Argento. The seasoned explorer cringes and gives him a little wave. Bellyazer hands you your reward, then wanders away, flipping through the pages. Psychic Guard. +1 training in cipher use skill. Allows you to carry additional ciphers. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. Put that bad boy on.
Action! Here I come!
This has been a WeakT Gaming video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, punch the little notification bell, maybe give us a like or a comment, and you know what? You have a nice day.